All right, we are here at Sammy's Avenue Eatery, and we are going live. We're doing this just for you, and it is Community View. And if you have an opportunity, come by and join us. And you will not be disappointed. Listen, you know how we do it. We invite you to join us on your destination, the SB Barber Morning Show. We're going to be talking about so much this morning. We have a peace bench that is going to be launched by Matt Dabbs, and we're going to give you a little insight on the peace bench this morning and bring you up to speed on it. So, grace and peace to everyone. I am Apostle SB Barber, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you Community View right here at Sammy's Avenue Eatery. Do you have an update on the Peace Bench?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do that.
I'm getting ready to put the flyers out now.
All right. We have Miss Gloria, and please, in just a moment, as soon as you get situated here, I want everyone to be able to hear you with no problem whatsoever. And as I have said to our listeners, we want you to stop by or just stay with us and hear what's going on. VJ Smith, our co-host and commentator for Tuesday Noon, he's out of town. He's on an assignment this morning, so he's not able to be in person. But you better believe he knows what's going on. And so hats off to the Rotary Club this morning. All right, let's talk about it.
Good morning. We are in the final stages.
Tell them who you are in your capacity.
Yes, I'm Gloria Howard, and I am the secretary for North Minneapolis Rotary Club. And we meet every Tuesday morning at 7:35 at the Merge Building at Emerson and Broadway. And anyone is welcome to join us. Come check us out, see what we're about. We're in your community. We're here to help, serve, and we would love for you to join us. Right now, we're getting ready to dedicate our first peace bench in the North Minneapolis area. The dedication ceremony is going to be Thursday, October 20th, from 4 to 5 p.m. at Commons at Penn. At the apartments at 2211 Golden Valley Road and Penn Avenue. We're going to have a welcome address by our Rotary Club president, Miss Susan Smith. We're going to have the dedication. You'll get a chance to see who the committee members are.
Let's hold this up while you're talking.
And here is our flyer that you'll see around on
Yes.
the north side. Okay? You'll get a chance to meet committee members who helped put this together. We're going to acknowledge some of our partners, which also includes Mr. Devin George, who is a big key person, and he's going to give us some remarks that day for allowing us to utilize that space in that area as our first peace dedication area.
Now let's slow this down a little bit because this didn't just pop up out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
We go back to, as far as the Rotary Club, behind the scenes, we can say it now. Actually, it was like this time early, or shall we say late spring into the early summer, it was declared that the Rotary Club was going to take a stance and deal with peace. Deal with peace. And there are, you've been gaining signatures, collecting signatures, people that are saying, I'm on board. And they got excited about that. And then also, this endeavor has taken place. And this is historic. Now, the Rotary Club, like any other organization, wanted to take a stance. And in response to the killings, in response to the over policing, the
Absolutely.
black on black crime, just so much that has been going on.
Yes.
And see, they're showing you an example of how you can do something. You can do something. So I just wanted to bring that history to the table.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yes, we've actually, just as you said, this has been over a year in the making, and one of our major initiatives is peace and conflict resolution. And we know that we can't stop all of the violence and the crime, but what we can do is make a stand for conflict resolution and peace in our own neighborhood. And peace begins with each individual person. And that's what we're standing up for. And we're challenging each and every individual to stand up for what they want to see happen, to create peace in their neighborhood, in their community, in their homes. So that's what this is all about. We have over 2,400 peace pledge cards, is what we call them. And we deem you as peace ambassadors once you do a peace card. So we've gotten over 2,400 signatures. We've had 3 peace forums. And out of those forums, this peace bench came out of that. So we are actually doing some of the things that we came together and said that we would do.
All right.
So it's exciting. There's going to be spoken word by Essence. And then we want the community, while we're there, to all stand up and take the peace pledge together.
All right. What does that peace pledge sound like, if you can recall it? And if you can't, right at the moment, what are some things that that the Rotary Club will be initiating or will be ongoing as a result of the historic placement of the Peace Bench dedication ceremony?
Okay, the Peace Pledge, actually it's a card, and it deems you as a peace ambassador because it says that you will stand up for peace. And what do you advocate for? What is it you want to see change? And you write in that, on that card, what it is you want to see change. Okay, everyone advocates for something, and that's what it's about. Right now, this is the first Peace Bench dedication. We have a second one, which is going to be located at Shiloh Temple. And then we have a Peace Garden that we just adopted. And that's right here at Emerson and Broadway. I think it's 18th and Emerson. So we're going to be working on that in the spring. And that you'll hear more about that, because we're definitely going to invite the community out. There's going to be big plans for that. It's a beautiful space. We want to make that a focal point in the community, a place for our children and our families to be able to go to. We just have big plans for that, to beautify our own community.
Speaking of our children, let me piggyback off of that. I'm your host, Apostle SB Barber, and of course we want you to hit social media and get folks involved here. We're giving you solutions. When you talk to us, when our community talks back to you, they give you positive solutions. Everything isn't negative. So while many are complaining about what isn't happening, there are those that are doing it. They're making it happen. This is October, and Grace Media Network presents SB Barber Morning Show, but we've also released Campaign Literacy, the Right to Read. Now, what is that all about? We have always targeted our youth, but we also are saying to churches as well as mosques, community organizations, the park board, the recreation centers. We don't house books. We don't distribute books. But we say to you, teachers, families, get together, look at it from this perspective. Go in that closet, pull out those books. You know how the grands get the books from the relatives, and never ever break the cover. I want you to pick out not your 1964 encyclopedias that are up in the attic, and you see this as an opportunity to do a cleaning the garage. Absolutely unacceptable. We want brand new, family-friendly, rarely used books. Take the time with that child. Open up that first page and write something encouraging. What are we doing? We are targeting illiteracy. We're targeting the right to read. So many of our children are still struggling in school with reading. Some of their parents have never taken the time. Now listen, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't even try to think about that. Stay positive with me. But I'm speaking to our community, and I'm connecting this to the Peace Garden. Some children never, ever get an opportunity to have their parents read with them. Their parents don't even know where they rank in their reading. We have parents who work, are hard workers, supporting their families, and guess what? Some have not mastered reading. Some dropped out of school, but yet they pulled their families together. But some men won't come out to even the weekly Bible studies because they know you're going to call on them to read, and some aren't able to read. It's time for us to embrace the family in peace. Help them get to the place that they need to be. You can drop off those books. We're going to have a spot here for next Tuesday at Sammy's Avenue Eatery, and you can bring that signed book. And we want you to even think about creating a reading room, a family-friendly reading nook, wherever. Think about the schools. Does your school have appropriate books, especially in the inner city? Now, in the suburban areas, it's a whole nother ball game. You see, it is not even, they don't neglect anything. I'm saying get on board here and do this. We launched this in 2011, 9/11. We didn't even know that 9/11 was going to happen, but we were in place. And Golden Book donated 10,000 books that we took to New York to deliver to those children. We didn't even know who to contact, but God led us, and before we knew it, we hooked up with the Billy Graham Association and also a community tutoring program. We stumbled on them, and the first thing they said, they were burdened, their hearts were grieved because they no longer had supplies, had no budget, no one would support them, and we said, we got you. The truck delivered the books, the coloring books, and they had crayons and everything. I'm telling you, only God knows what He wants to do with you, but will you be willing to move the marker? Now, where am I going with this? Get on board, get your children involved, and let them do this. Now, as it relates to the Peace Bench, what do we want to say to our young ones? What do we want to say to our brilliant young people, whether they are from kindergarten up to high schoolers? What do you want them? Do you want them to own this Peace Garden?
Absolutely.
We want to get these pledges into the schools as well as we go in with Stop Bullying Now movement. We want them to know about the Peace Garden. Can you imagine taking the children in the community North Side schools on a field trip, going to the bench, taking a photo? The reason I'm emphasizing this is to counterattack when Lucy Laney School, Sojourner Truth School, Harvest Preparatory Network of Schools experienced gun violence on the campuses during school time. When the community experienced, and I'm just going to mention this, I'm not leaving anyone out, but I'm talking about children. When the killing took place on Laurie in Penn, there was a baby in the car and a toddler in the car. One of the children died as a result of a beef, a gun shooting between these two cars, and the father was driving. I'm going to stop right here. What I want to emphasize is that Lucy Laney School, as a result of the gun violence that took place on that property, they stepped outside of the box, brought the children field trip over to the Penn and Laurie visual site. And those children gathered. They saw the photo of the child that, was murdered in that situation. That's murder.
Yes.
I can't find another word for it.
Yes.
It wasn't an accident. Anytime you point a gun, it's not an accident.
That's right. That's right.
So those children saw the photos and they drew pictures. They wrote encouraging things to the family. These are children. But think about what I said, what took place on their school grounds.
Yes.
Let's counterattack the field trip that went to support a vigil to a field trip that would go
Exactly.
and celebrate the peace bench.
Exactly.
My God. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
This is in place for a reason. So on
Exactly.
that note, what do you want to say to school educators that may be listening in? If they're not getting this right now, you get the broadcast on demand. You get it on YouTube. We're helping you think creative. This has to be a collaborative effort.
Yes.
You're wondering, what can I do? What can I do to get my children, my students, their minds off of this? Because they're pent up. No one's really digging deep except for you educators and some churches and some social workers, etc. But turn this into something very positive. So what would the Rotary Club want? Educators, social workers, those that are intervening, still going in, trying to get a sense of where our children are because of the trauma.
Yes.
This is a healing moment,
Yes,
an
it
opportunity
is.
with
It
this
is.
historic peace bench. You got it.
Yes. I would say come join us. We're only a group of 19 or 20 individuals. We need everyone to collaborate with us. We need your ideas. We need your expertise. We need to listen to hear what you have to say. There are things that you see that we don't see. There are things that you hear that we don't hear. So the ideas that will come from you as a collaboration, I'm sure, will make all of the difference. So as we begin to work on this peace garden for the spring, we welcome and we open our doors for anyone to come and join us with any suggestions, any ideas, and see if this is a place for you. And if not, just come and join us with your ideas and your thoughts. Right now, education and literacy, that is our second initiative. Maternal health is our third initiative. So these are three major areas that we have dedicated our club and community to. So we're right here. So we're not going anywhere, and we're right here with you. So now that you know what our three initiatives are, come on out, join us, help us make a difference. And if you're looking for a place to put books, Shiloh Temple has a little free library that sits right in front of the bus stop at Broadway and Fremont. That was put there by the North Minneapolis Rotary Club. That is part of our education and literacy initiative. Fill it up, bring the books to us. We keep it full. They're free to take those books. If they want to exchange them, they want to keep them, no problem. We just refill them. We just want the children to get them and read.
Wow. Do you hear this collaborative? And this is a collaborative that, as of this moment, Campaign Literacy, the Right to Read, and the Rotary Club, the Peace Garden, and their efforts are already in place. And all we're doing is spotlighting them. Now, on Thursday, we will have educators, social workers talking with us on our Thursday broadcast this week. And we will tell you whether or not that's going to be 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. because we don't want to miss anyone. So October 20th and October 27th. And so we want to go ahead and partner with the Rotary Club to jumpstart their next step, which is literacy.
Literacy, education and literacy. That is our focal point for this year. We haven't stepped back on peace. We're pulling them together.
They're together, right.
They're together.
Absolutely.
Okay? But we do want to emphasize that education and literacy is a key pivotal point for our children and our parents in order for us to have peace in our community.
That's right. And you know, when you get those books and you realize that, here's the next piece of this. The other phase is we want to see you think about when you go and visit your incarcerated loved one. We are encouraging and connecting with sheriffs to talk about how we can create a reading room, a family-friendly. I'm not talking about adults. I'm not talking about adult books. I'm talking about just like those golden, golden time books, etc. And family-friendly books that elementary, from preschool to elementary school children, when they go in, let me set this up. Think about this. When a child goes into prison to visit a loved one, typically this is the scenario. If the mama took them or the daddy took them, they have a little time with the person that they came to visit. But then I've seen it happen because I was involved in full-time prison ministry. The next thing we see happen, the child now is designated over by the canteen. They go get a snack so the two adults can talk. But what happens if you make the child's experience a priority? Inside the penal institution, the parent knows the child is going to be coming. They go to the reading nook. They get a family-friendly, child-oriented book. They start reading. The child comes. The child picks a book. They don't have to be the same books. But what happens is it's going to surprise the child that the parent would care that much, even if it's the parent read one page and the child reads one page. Don't criticize the lack of reading skill, but it'll bring an awareness to you, parent. Now, even though you're incarcerated, you're academically connected with that child. That child walks away excited about the fact, and the imagery in their mind is that they spent time and their parents spent time reading with them. And if you do need to say, you know what, wow, I'm so excited, can't wait to, I'm going to beat you in reading my page, the parent might say, and then the child gets excited. And then whoever the other parent is or loved one, write down the words that you see the child stumbling in. Don't deal with it right then and there. Just let them flow. But when they go home, you've got something to help them with. And guess what else? When they're educators, this one's for you. I got to hit you with this one. When that child comes to school at the elementary level, typically in the school setting, here's what what happens, Miss Gloria. Typically, that teacher at the elementary level would say, what did you do this weekend? Hands go up in the classroom. Little Johnny stands up. He's excited. I read with my daddy. I read with my mommy. But educators, be careful. Self-care. Think about that child's self-care. Think about the trauma that they may be hearing about, whatever may be going on and in their home. Don't ask them, where does your parent work? Don't ask them, where were you at with your parent? That doesn't matter, because at that point you are dehumanizing that child. You're humiliating that child because that child knows their parent is incarcerated. They're excited enough to tell you they read. Ask them, what book are you reading? Would you like to tell us anything about that book? See, turn that thing around and empower our children. All right, that's our plug. I don't know why we're on the same page today, but then really I do.
Yes.
It's a God moment. And that's what happens right here at Sammy's Avenue Eatery. And I believe that it was important for us to talk about that. So help us create those family-friendly reading rooms in the penal system. I want you to go ahead and wind up. Do your recruitment for the Rotary Club or re-emphasize what's getting ready to happen again.
Yes, okay. Come on out once again. Join the North Minneapolis Rotary Club on Thursday, October 20th from 4 to 5 p.m. at Commons at Penn Avenue. At 2211 Golden Valley Road and Penn Avenue for the Peace Bench dedication ceremony. And again, every Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m., Join us at Emerge for the North Minneapolis Rotary Club meeting. Everyone is welcome. We encourage you to come out, see what we're about, see what we're doing in your community, and how you can help and be a part. My name again is Gloria. I'm the secretary. Give us a call. You can join us anytime. My number is 763-614-0414 if you have any questions regarding the North Minneapolis Rotary Club.
All right, we're going to get our photo in just a moment, so give me a moment. We're going to wrap up. I have another gentleman here, and come on closer. Thank you for talking with the community. You are live on SB Barber Morning Show, both the radio and YouTube. And we take the time to broadcast here as a courtesy to the community to talk about what's important. Several things. We just want to know what brings you to Sammy's Avenue Eatery, first of all.
First of all, I'm meeting someone to talk about some projects here in North Minneapolis. So, Pastor Roger Sonjanson and I are going to be getting together here in a few minutes. My name is George Gibson. I'm the owner of Next Step. It's a staffing company that specializes in working with men and women with barriers to employment. So ex-felons, graduates of treatment programs, veterans is what I do.
Miss Gloria, listen at this. That's what I'm talking about. He just said that he's meeting with
Roger Sonjanson
to talk about.
I own Next Step Staffing, which is a company that works with men and women with barriers to employment. My wife and I also own Welcome Homes, which is a permanent sober supportive housing group. So. And
you mentioned felons. What did you say?
Absolutely. We work primarily with ex-felons, graduates of treatment programs, the lepers of our society oftentimes that nobody else wants to work with. So that's what we do.
Okay.
And so talking about some more stuff that we can do here in the community, actually.
Talk to the community. You have the spotlight right now. Tell them what you need or what you desire or how they can be involved or even connect with you.
Sure. A couple of different things. One, with Next Step, we're always looking for employers that are willing to give felons, graduates of treatment program, an opportunity. We do a motivational attitude assessment to really get some to the heart of who they are. And so we're looking for some employers that we can actually prove some really great candidates with. That's one of the things. Another thing with Welcome Homes, we're always looking for landlords that are wanting to have somebody manage their property, guarantee their rent, all of the things that oftentimes, they have trouble with evictions or what's going on with their property. All of those kind of different things is what we do as a solution, because we do a really hard assessment up front to really try and look for people that are really hoping for change.
All right. When you talk about that, have a seat right there. When you talk about housing, and Miss Gloria, that kind of hit a note for you for whatever the reason. Yes. And so you two dialogue, whatever it is you want to know, because people are trying to figure out, what do I do? And you both are creative solutions.
Well, I was listening because I used to work over south at Urban Ventures.
Oh yeah.
And I worked. Yes, that's actually I used to work for him.
Okay.
And that's why it struck me because I understand the needs, and housing has always been, and I think it's more critical right now for that demographic. And it seems like it's increasing. It's increasingly getting more and more difficult. I've seen more and more homelessness. And a lot of it has a lot to do with also we have to start addressing a mental health aspect, because some of them will get an apartment or get a place to stay, but they can't keep it due to so much trauma that they've been through, that it's a little difficult and it's a little scary. Now that they have a stable place, how are they going to maintain it? So just having someone to help them step by step. So that was the thing that I saw with us trying to help keep them there. We didn't have that component to help them where we could adjust it and help walk them through staying there.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up. My wife and I, we work with restorative justice process. We use circle process, healing circles.
Okay, yes.
All of our
I'm familiar
homes that we
with those.
currently manage are ran with, at the very core, is a circle of support and accountability. That's what we do.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so that's how we manage the homes. It's also how we get to the deeper hurts. Most of the people, I've been in addiction and incarceration circles for a long time. It's my own story. So those are it took a guy headed for the electric chair for God to get all of me. So I wear a bunch of different hats, but my passion for seeing people that are ready to succeed in the community is what it's about. And so we approach things from a different perspective a little bit. All of what we do is generally underneath a social business enterprise, meaning that it's about social change, it's about community change. It's doing it from a for-profit kind of piece and using the profit to pour back into provide services instead of requiring or looking for government funding or always out with my hand out to try and get things done. And so I'm former executive director for R3 Collaborative for Recovery and Renewal, so a little over 65 faith-based organizations in town. And one of the things we identified is if we can put pro-social support mentoring that begins whenever they're in treatment, whenever they're in prison, bring them out into a circle of support that provides housing, employment, pro-social support, healthy activities, all of those things that normally when somebody is, if you got to change playground playmates and playthings, you're going to have to replace them with some really awesome things in order to do that. And so that's what we concentrate on. And so we're intentionally building social business enterprise business to provide those solutions versus using government funding, for example. So our staffing company, right? We work like every other staffing company, but it's the profits that we use to provide the services for the rest of the stuff.
I like that. I would like to come by there and see what I would like to see that. I really would. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna get you have a business card?
I do.
Now this is what happens right here at Sammy's Avenue Eatery. We just set it up and let it just happen. And you know what? What do you know about the North Side? Are you familiar with the North Side Rotary Club?
I have not
And
joined
if
the North
not,
Side Rotary
they
Club.
meet every Tuesday
Okay.
at 7:30 a.m. until 8:30, and that they come here. You know what, VJ?
Right here.
I tell you, I think Miss Gloria is, she's handling co-commentating today.
You would be an awesome person for us to have as a speaker, so they can see what you're doing, especially in the community. I really would like to get in touch with you. And
Please do. I mean,
yes.
our home, one of them is right up here on Lindale, and then we've got a triplex that we just finished getting leased out over on Fremont. And one of our offices for Next Step is we're partnering with the Salvation Army over here. One of my new president for Next Step Staffing actually offices a lot out of the Salvation Army over here. So.
Yes. Because we have three initiatives. One is peace and conflict resolution, maternal health and wellness,